Okay, so I've got my lovely little lady here, and we are going to be doing a set from this publication that was originally published like this, called The Professional Way to Set Your Own Hair by Jack of Westwood, originally published in 1946. I've chosen a style that we will be working on called the Pert Bang. So I'm just going to show how we run and follow a pin curl set pattern. We'll go one step at a time. There's only 3 steps, and I've decided for this particular situation that we will be using single prong clips rather than hairpins, because I didn't add any styling product to her hair, so we need to make sure that this holds when I do it. So we'll be using single prong clips. So the first step is separate the front hair in a triangular section with the point of the triangle at the crown and make 4 rows of pin curls coming toward the base. So from here, we will start fresh again. I'd already started once, but here we go. So we will have parted out, and because of her hair color, you can see the triangle from the crown to the temples. And we're going to do 4 rows of curls starting in the front. I need to move this a little bit further so I can have a fairly even distribution of hair. Alright, so I've decided to put my curls in. I think I'm going to wrap them this way, using my finger as a base, curl them up, and then normally I prefer to use hair pins proper, but today it's going to be little single prong clips for the sake of, I already tried doing this with the hairpins, and they didn't really do what I needed them to do. So we're going to just continue to style this first row of curls as best as I can, using single prong clips to hold the curls in place. And our curls are somewhat uniform, and I'm going to continue to have them wrapping in this fashion all the way across these front sections. And there's a possibility that I might be able to use hairpins for some of the side hair, but like I said, I didn't add any gel or any setting lotion, so it may not be possible to get the hair to set right with using hairpins. And sometimes that's one of the struggles with doing a set like this, I'm going to utilize a hairpin to hold these ends down. See if that'll stay. Gotta use the tools available to you. Now we're gonna go into our second row. Just tip her forward just a little. Hope that we can all see, and part off. Just make sure that we are decently even, and we will continue working in the same fashion, although I feel like I may only have 3 curls for this row. So I'm going to use my left hand as my base so that I can telescope the curl inside of itself. Then we'll lay it down here, almost brick laid. Then put the pin on and hope it holds. Continuing, yep, this is only going to be 3 curls wide, and that is perfectly okay. Like I said, just keep going, wrapping around my left index finger, then sliding it down, curling it around, and placing it. This is a good technique to try if you're doing this for yourself, just for the sake of using hair clips. Can be easier than trying hairpins or bobby pins. Hair clips, I prefer single prong. Some people like double prong, and you can use extra long single prong clips when you are arranging waves, like finger waves. So you can use the long yo-yettes, which I love that word. It is not a very common one. Usually they're just called duckbill clips. So the long single prong clips, but I learned the word yo-yette and I think it's fabulous. And because of how wide this section is, I'm going to continue to go with 3 curls, and then we will have, after this, we will have one last subsection, last row of curls here in the front. Like I said, we wrap it around, then bring it down and clip neat and tidy. And then split this. We can have our next curl. And you may notice that the hair, the further back towards the crown we go, the more the hair is longer, so you have a little bit more working room to move things around. The whole idea is going to be to make a super cute bang after this is all set. I am a big fan of the 1940s style, just in general. But the bangs are especially fun to do, and not all of my doll heads are cut in such a way that I can actually make this kind of style work. So our last subsection here, so our 4th row, is just going to be split in 2, and I'm going to make a long stemmed curl, because in these types of styles it was expected that for part of your day you would be wearing a hat. hat, and the crown of the hair needs to be flat so that the hat will sit and not ruin the style. So our last curl here. Right, and here is the first subsection of 4 rows of curls coming towards the face. Now, I'm going to scooch on and look at our next set of instructions, which is step number 2. Set the hair on the left side in 2 rows of large pin curls drawn upward, coming toward the face. Right here. Directly back of top part of the ear, make 2 rows of small pin curls also coming towards the face, and then set the right side of the hair the same as the left. So we have, just part this out. Basically, we're taking this whole side just to the top of the ear, and these curls are drawn up and then coming towards the face. So drawn up, and because these are larger pin curls, I'm going to wrap it around 2 fingers before tucking it in, and then laying that here, and that's super. I hate when the stand falls apart. Just clip this to myself for a second. One more time. Curls coming toward the face, but also with an upward directed weirdly away from the face stem, but the curl is curling toward the face, followed by our clip. Do that same thing. I'm gonna actually clip another one to my shirt. So our next curl is going to be up, and away, wrapped around 2 fingers for size. As I say, big curls, curling back toward the face, but also, like it says, an upward direction in the stem. Okay, then we're going to do another row, and by a row, I think they just want a couple of large curls towards the face, but also combed up and away from the face. So up and away, followed by wrapping around 2 fingers. So lay it out this way, then curling it up and back towards the, this is annoying, this cramp. Oh, and I have 2 now. Okay, let's do this again, this time with feeling. Sometimes the hair is quite, in this case, it's quite textured. It's a little bit more of a textured bob style cut, and without having any styling products, there's really nothing holding the hair in place. So having very large, there we go, lay it down, pin it together, ta-da! Okay, and then it says to do just above the ear, just do some small pin curls that all come towards the face. I'm going to just double check my little diagram here. So they come up and then towards the face. So like these, but smaller. I don't know exactly how small, so we'll just kind of keep them tiny. Go. So now we'll just put it around one finger. Still using the telescoping into itself, and pin. Stay. We'll take the next one, same thing, up, round the finger, telescope it in, and then pin down. It's gonna be a little butt, isn't it? It's fine. It's fine. I can always grab a hairpin later to handle that. Okay, around the finger. And I did them in this order so that they would lay down basically one on top of the next. And then we'll just take this last little guy over here, do the same thing, and we'll be saving the back for after we finish up the right hand side. Sometimes it's not always as exciting. I can get a little lost in my thoughts while I put these curls in, but I like that they are neat and orderly. So we have this here for big curls followed by the small curls, and we're going to switch around to the right hand side and do the same thing, only going the other direction. So I'm going to find my part here, which should be just by the ear. Comb that back and out of the way. And let's see how we do making the big curls that have to go first up and then come back. Check a pan on me. And this time I'm going to put them around my left. And grab it. Hold it. There we go. And pin it. Ta-da, not too bad. Then do it again. And catch one of your other curls, because that's what you want to do. Of course, keeping your hair as ribbon smooth as you possibly can. important. It makes for much cleaner curls and a much simpler comb out when you're done. So now we shall pull our next set of 2 large curls. Also, something to keep in mind here is use whichever hand makes the job easiest. So if it is easier for you to place your, see, that's not good. If it's easier for you to place your curls wrapping it around your right hand, use that. If it's easier to create and place your curls wrapping around your left hand, use that. It's best to be mildly ambidextrous with your curls and curling, so you can be assured that you're going to get similar results every time, side to side, so you don't have to worry about it like, oh, I can only wrap it around my left hand, so I can only style in that fashion. I find it much better if you can switch sides as necessary. And I'll probably take a hairpin. In fact, I'll do that right now because I have this end that wants to run away. So I'll just tuck it. Okay, now we are on to the little curls that will go in the same upward fashion, but instead of tightly around 2 fingers, we are just going to wrap it around 1 and then secure it going towards the face. Come on, little buddy. And of course, that one is going to piss me off. Pardon my language. I'm going to stand somewhat in the way just so I can get this little guy doing what I want it to do. I'd really like to give it a few other choice words, but also try to keep this somewhat family friendly. Alrighty. Next. Wrapping it around 1 finger, then telescoping it down and placing the curl, and taking a clip and clipping it right down. And this side doesn't have enough room to do 4, so we're just doing 3 on this side here. Maybe I parted it a little differently. It's hard to, probably did. And we'll pin this right down and do our last little curl here. Wrapped around 1 finger and then tucked around, and finally secured with a pin. So there we have our next look. look at this side, we have the large curls followed up by the small curls, and we'll be moving on to the back section, which will be our last section in the set. And step 3 says use center back of head as an imaginary line. On the left side, start from the ear and make 4 rows of pin curls coming towards the face to the back center of the head. And on the right side, start from the ear and make 4 rows of pin curls coming towards the face to the back center of the head. So what we are looking at here is this one right here. And if you look closely, you can see that the curls are going in 2 different directions. And so we're going to be keeping the crown very, very smooth. So we're only doing 4 rows from the nape up. So the first step is middle of the head, making an imaginary line right down the back. And then just scooch this off to the side, and we're going to start in the bottom. And her hair is a bit short down here on the bottom piece, but that is okay. Just stay out of the way, hair. So I'm only going to get 2 curls in, and these are going to go, like it said, toward the face. So I'm going to wrap around on my left hand, working on this left side and clipping it so it stays. Then we'll do the same thing, come around my finger, and these are all smaller pin curls. And we'll do the same thing on this side. See if I can get the hair to stay up out of the way. We'll see. Either will or it won't. My options, generally speaking. All right, and since these are coming towards the face but going in the other direction, we'll see what finger I want to use for that. I might still use my left, just whatever I feel comfortable with. So I'm going to pin down this way, and come here. And then we'll do it again, and slide it off, turn it, and pin this way. Okay, coming up, we're going to move on to our second row. Probably stuck my head right in the camera frame, but alas, just the way it is. Okay, stay, and because this is a little bit wider, we're gonna get probably 3 curls out of this. So, stick with the same idea. Switched over to using my right index finger. Slide the pin in. I tend to just, use whatever finger feels the most natural for me. This isn't the most neat and orderly of, the set is neat and orderly, the everything there not so much, and that's okay, because this isn't about what it looks like right now, it's what it's going to look like when it's all done. else. So like I said, I'm going to use my right side, my right index finger, or just tuck it in. And like I said, it's going towards the face. Slide our pin in right there. Now, we'll do the same thing on the right side. So try to line up as best we can. And throw a clip on the floor, that works too. Okay, so we'll start here, side by the ear, because we're also going to want to make sure as we are laying these curls forward towards the face that they can then easily lay one on top of the next. And we're going to slide our pin in this way because I like it that way. I like things in order, and that's how I do it. So I've come back to using my left index finger to tuck the hair in and pin. Yep, I've got some runaways, so we're going to catch them with a hairpin. Said use what you have, and it'll usually work out. So, and because of the texture and the lack of hair product, as I said before, it's hairpin or hair clips, single prong clips, and occasionally hairpins for security. Okay. Next, we're just going back to the left side, I think. Back to the left side. All right, our third row of curls. And just continue with taking about half-inch square subsections. And use my right. Tuck all of that in. Round. And slide the pin in there. I can only get 4 out of this one. We shall see. Wrap it around. Tuck it inside itself. Roll it and lay it on its neighbor if you have to. That's why we start in a fashion that lends to being able to overlap easily rather than becoming disruptive with each additional curl, where if you just have the ability to overlap, then you can just slide one onto the next, and that's that. And that goes for both coming up and going across. And we'll do the same on the right side. Just follow our little pattern here. And when this is all done and dry, then you will see that the back and the sides do join up to a certain degree. That's part of the combing out process. I haven't decided just yet if I will film the comb out or if I will just do it. I might film it. I think it's a nice thing to watch to see what a comb out looks like. And of course, without any styling product, this wouldn't hold very long, especially in humid environments. And so it's best to actually put styling product, setting gel, setting spray, mousse, something for a little bit of hold. But I will say that a wet set is going to last the longest, no matter whether it's set with gel or mousse or anything you feel like. I might get a little bit crazy and style and add some brilliantine at the end, as that would be a very common styling product. And as it is basically Vaseline, it makes the hair fairly waterproof. But it also adds a suppleness to it and a shine. So now we're getting to the part of making these last row of curls. So it's going to have just a very, very long stem. So you want to make sure this is brushed down smooth. And then we're going to wrap all of the hair, which is a little bit layered. So it's creating some interesting shapes. Roll it up and let it sit right at the top of the next curl. Now we're going to take another one and make a very long stem. I think we'll get about another 4 curls on each side. Long stem, wrap it around the finger, the best you can. Especially with all these layers, it does get a little bit like a Christmas wreath. So tuck that right there. Put our little pin right on that. It should hold. And we'll do this again. Wrapping it around, in my case, my right index finger, followed up with securing it once more right above the previous row, and it is overlapping its neighbor just a little bit, and this will be the last one for the left side. And we will do the same on the right side, and then we will have a completed hair set from actual instructions from 1946. So I'm going to turn this way, and we're going to do the same thing, which is to take a long stem, comb it out. I'm going to use my left index finger, wrap that up, that around, grab a pin and secure it. Another one, and we're gonna do the same thing. We'll have 4 last curls, making sure to smooth this down, as we want to still leave a very flat and smooth crown to accommodate the wearing of a hat. And as this is from the 1940s, it was very common to wear, for a woman to wear a hat if she went out. And you want your hair to look nice all the way through the day, with and without a hat. So, all right, our second to last, the penultimate curl. Find my left, and this is the same kind of problem with having these extra layers in here. I mean, I don't think they're extra layers. I should be more honest, it's just having layers that go quite short. And then last, but certainly not least, our final curl. Still want to make sure that our crown is smooth. And then we will secure this last curl. Tuck everything in the way it's supposed to be. There we go. And our last pin. And here we have our final section, which has the drop crown and 4 rows of curls, each side curled towards the face. So now we have completely followed and completed a set right out of the 1940s. And I will be sure to post the finish up and comb out once she is dry. Thank you much.